Yeah, man, I'm curious. You would think that by now your theme would have been put out of business. Why do companies continue to create such effortful experiences? It seems like by now everybody should know that too much effort is a very bad thing.
It's funny, Roger, I remember when I wrote the book and I gave a copy to my mom, and she said, "Are you telling me companies don't actually understand this yet? That this is what customers want?" And I said, You'd be surprised actually. Companies think you want something totally different. They think you want to be wowed and excited." And she said, "Well, they don't do a very good job of that either." So
It's one of those things that everybody knows about. Years ago, I was going to speak at a conference, sort of an elite entrepreneurial conference, and I said, "Well, I'm going to talk about friction, wasted effort." And they said, "Oh, no, everybody knows about friction. You got to do something else." So, it's like if everybody knew about it seems like we'd have a lot better experience.
On that point, it's an interesting one. My sense is companies do know about friction. I think what they struggle with is a couple of things. One is they don't know really or don't appreciate the impact it has on customer loyalty. But I also think that they don't really know how to fix it. I remember years ago, Roger, we were talking recently about an airline experience you had. I was presenting to one of the big airlines in Europe, and I remember putting up on a screen all the drivers of customer effort, like repeat contacts and channel switching and repeating your story over and over again and getting transferred or escalated and these kinds of things, being forced to jump through hoops. And the head of the group, the customer service group, kind of started laughing. And I was thinking, of course you're laughing. You're an airline. You enjoy doing this stuff to your customers. But that's not why he was laughing. Why he was laughing is he said, that's our project list. That was our project list last year. Those are our priorities to knock those things out. And by the way, that was our list the year before and the year before that. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be our project priority list next year. Like, tell us something we don't know. The problem is we don't know how to fix these things. So I think that's probably more the issue I run into with companies.
Right. Probably it's difficult too. I mean, they may know how to fix them, but fixing them is expensive. I mean, I'm sure that
That's right.
these airlines are running on legacy code in a lot of cases, and they can't really change the website easily without fear of breaking it and such. It's difficult to affect change. In fact, I just did a workshop for an Austrian company in New York City, and a leader in that group, who was not at the highest executive level in the organization, said, "In our company, fighting friction is a high friction experience." Meaning
well said.
Knew that there would be a lot of resistance to making change that would change the variables that we want.
Making things easy is hard, it turns out.